The final day of the prosecution's case in the murder trial of William Danny Mason and 4 accused men began outside the courtroom today. A Locus saw the defendants and their legal counsels, as well as the prosecutors and Justice Antoinette Moore, conduct site visits at 3 locations entered into evidence, namely the Intelco Hill property of Mason, the farm Outback Ranch located between miles 30 and 31 on the George Price Highway, and what was once Sancho's bar in Belmopan. It all happened with heavy police escort.
Well, the judge felt that she needed to see, and oftentimes it's helpful when you're in these trials, all you see are paper documents and testimony of witnesses to guide you. Sometimes it is important, and the judge felt it was important to go to the scene, and hopefully what we did today assists the court in coming to a final determination.
So we noticed after the visits, the judge asked certain questions of the forensic, the local forensic expert. Explain to us what was the purpose of that, if you can.
Like I said, until you go to a scene and actually visualize in front of you what you're seeing, certain questions will arise, and questions arose regarding matters like cameras, video cameras that were at Sancho's bar, and other matters that I won't go into. But there are pertinent matters that arose based on us going to the scene this morning.
So about 3 years later, there have been changes to the landscape at all these locations. How does that influence the case?
I will be sure to include that in my closing arguments because you just raised a good point. So that whatever the judge gets from it will be what she decides to take from it, but I cannot go beyond that to say.
Back to the residence, what was the observations made at the residence?
There is a video that was disclosed, and I think the main thing was to confirm some of the things that we saw on the video in terms of what happened at the property. Beyond that, I really don't want to get into the meat of the matter.
The Locus took about 2 hours, and the parties returned to the courtroom where the crime scene technician was further quizzed about what was submitted to the court as evidence in the trial. According to the witness, it was at the ranch that he encountered a smoking pit in which he saw charred remains. He claims to have also seen black buckets and white sacks, similar to that which was discovered in the pickup truck with the head of deceased Pastor Llewellyn Lucas back in July of 2016.
The ranch was very big, had several pieces to it. And beyond that, the boundaries weren't certain. But beyond that, I really don't know what we gained from going there.
In the afternoon session, Investigating Officer Sergeant Holly Vasquez returned to court for defense counsel Baha Shoman to finish her cross-examination. Her 4 other colleagues will each get their chance to question him before the session concludes today and is adjourned until September 24, 2019, when the defense will present its case. Attorneys Brian Neal and Norman Rodriguez say that through the cross-examination, they are trying to present to the court that the investigation was poorly conducted.
I will go back at my cross-examination to try to persuade the judge that a proper investigation was. Whether I'm successful or not will be a matter for the final determination when we get that verdict. But my task is to try to make it, to show the judge that a proper investigation was not conducted.
When we listen to the witness giving evidence, we look at certain things which provides a background or a foundation for us to discredit that witness. He said certain things in his evidence that I felt was worthy of following up, and that is why I crossed him on certain areas.
Do you two feel that the process for the investigation and later charge of these men was improperly done?
I cannot say it was improperly done. I'm not a police officer, but I have my own feelings as to how police work is done. I would want to see a little more effort made into investigating before you charge. That is one of the big areas for me that I would want to see something done a little differently.
Duane, Moody for News 5.